Welcome to Pour the Wine. It's Rom-Com Time, where we'll sip some wine and review all things rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Gary.
And are you ready to pour it?
I am
pour the
ready
wine?
to pour the wine.
Let's do it.
It's time.
And we're having, drum roll, a cab sound.
Yes.
As per usual. As per usual, what we love.
Yes.
We would, speaking of love.
Yes, love.
If you have time, we would really appreciate it if you would click that follow button on your favorite podcast platform.
Yes, please click it.
If you have any opinions either way about our podcast, please be sure to leave us a review. Hopefully it's a 5-star review, but if not, we'll accept it.
That's right.
Hopefully it's a positive review. But make sure you follow us wherever you can find us so you don't miss an episode. We're on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky,
Falling
X.
on me.
I still want to say Twitter.
I know, right?
And Threads.
It's hard to not say it every once in a while.
Right.
Here's your wine.
Thank you. Handing me my
I'm
wine.
going to have a sip real quick.
Oh, okay. You're going to dive into that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even started yet, and you're like, I need a sip.
Had to wet my whistle.
Mm-hmm.
My whistle. So today we're reviewing the first of 3 Love on the Danube movies called Love Song that aired on Hallmark Channel on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. It originally aired on Hallmark Plus on September 10th, 2024, when Hallmark Plus launched.
That's almost a year ago. Can you believe that?
I know. Time is flying.
Woo.
Woo. If you missed it, guess what?
What? Tell me.
It's still
Lay it
on
me.
Hallmark Plus.
It's still on Hallmark Plus. It
Without
is there.
commercials.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So, do you want to tell us who's in this one?
Sure. I will start with that. Let's go. Nazneen Contractor plays Sarah. Her Hallmark work includes playing, I think it's either Neela or Nyla. I'm not sure if it's a hard eye or a soft eye. In 4 episodes of The Love Club and in the Love Club Mom's Tori movie in 2025.
Okay.
She was in 2 episodes of Holidays in 2024.
Ooh, loved Holidays.
Which we know we love that. The Perfect Pairing in 2022, which is super cute. We just watched that one. A Winter Getaway in 2021. And it looks like her first Hallmark movie was The Christmas Ring in 2020.
Wow.
She's voiced a few animated series, including Star Wars Resistance and Mickey and the Roadster Racers. She was in a series called Ransom. She was in 39 episodes from 2017 to 2019. 5 episodes of Major Crimes, which we loved in 2017.
One you got me hooked on.
And an episode of Person of Interest, which you got me hooked on in 2014.
The only one I got her hooked on.
The only. That's not true. That's not true. Wes Brown plays Jack. And, you know, he's a Hallmark favorite.
Yes.
That's a good looking man right there.
But let's be honest, I'm better looking, right?
You are better looking, baby. That is true. That is true.
Wink, wink.
You know who he reminds me of? I thought about during this movie, and this is a total sidebar. He reminds me of a young Brendan Fraser.
Yes, he does.
Yes. Yep. So I was thinking about that when we were watching this. And I'm like, you know what?
That's funny.
That's who he reminds me of. Anywho, we could call him practically Mr. Hallmark. He has something like 19 Hallmark movies, shows, productions that he has done so far. And he was in 4 movies in 2024, including Holiday Touchdown, Deck the Walls, Autumn at Apple Hill, and this one. They were all in 2024. Wow. He was in one of our faves, Biltmore Christmas, in 2023, and the Haul Out the Holly movies in 2023 and 2022. And we love those too.
Yes,
those are so cute. He's also going to be in Countdown to Christmas 2025 in A Newport Christmas with Gina Claire Mason from Hats Off to Love.
Awesome.
Star of that one. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Looking forward to that. Some of his other work includes the movie Inheritance in 2024, 1 episode of Once Upon a Time in 2016, and 11 episodes of Deception in 2013.
Wow.
Oh, and he was in an episode of Desperate Housewives in 2012.
There's
Desperate Housewives shows up. Catherine Drysdale plays Teddy. This is her Hallmark debut, and she's in all 3 Love on the Danube movies. She was in 18 episodes of Bridgerton.
Ooh.
The ever popular Bridgerton between 2020 and 2024. She was in a series called The Windsors. She was in 11 episodes of that from 2016 to 2023, where she played Meghan Markle. And this is actually a comedy soap opera about the royals.
Okay.
So we might have to check that out. It might be kind of funny.
Yes, we will.
She's voiced a lot of animated series like Circle Square. She was in 21 episodes of that between 2021 and 2022. Dennis and Nasher Unleashed. She was in or voiced 17 episodes of that from 2017 to 2020.
Okay.
And Dennis and Nasher on the big screen. She was a voice in 2020.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gee, crackers.
Pamela Sinha plays Julia. This is her Hallmark debut. She was in the movie Shook in 2024.
Okay.
She was in ER.
There's ER.
17 episodes between 1999 and 2005, and she was in one episode of Crossing Jordan in 2014. David Samartin plays Jack. He is actually a composer.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that what he kind of plays in this? He's the music teacher, the band, right? He has the band in the Thanksgiving
I think
Day
he does
parade.
have the band. Yeah.
He has 10 acting
band.
credits.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to think about it. What?
I know. You're like, what? Where am I?
Is it Jack
What's
or Andre?
happening?
Which one is it?
He does play. Oh, I said Jack, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
You are right.
It's Andre. That's what maybe I was confused. I was like, was there another man in this movie that was playing band?
Maybe I need the wine. I take full credit for that. That's why you look so confused.
I have to cherish this moment, y'all, because she doesn't mess up that much. Actually, I don't think she messes up at all. And
no,
when she does,
I do.
Yes,
I can't believe I said that. And I looked at you like you were losing your mind. We have recorded evidence of that. That's so funny.
Yeah, Andre.
Okay, let me start that over. David Martin plays Andre.
Yes.
He's actually a composer.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, gosh. Okay. He has 10 acting credits that include Emergency LA. He was in 7 episodes of that in 2023.
Okay.
And the series Harry's Law, he was in 1 episode in 2011, and that starred Kathy Bates.
Oh, sweet. Pretty cool.
Mark Holden plays the captain of the ship, Captain Magnuson.
Yes.
He has a ton of work that he's done. This is his Hallmark debut. As far as I could see, he had a lot of acting credits. We will see him in all 3 Love on the Danube movies. He was in the movie Damaged in 2024 with Samuel L. Jackson. He was in Discovery of Witches, 2 episodes of that in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, we watched like the first season of that.
The first season, yeah.
World War Z in 2013. That's with Tom Cruise, right?
World War Z? No, I think that was with...
Oh, I'm wrong. I take it back. I need to drink some more wine. I don't know.
8 Monkeys.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah, I think it was Brad Pitt.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, someone will tell us or correct us, I'm sure. Or I could look it up. He was in Final Destination in 2000. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And 2 episodes of one of your favorite shows, The X-Files.
Ooh.
In 1997 and 1998. Yeah, somewhere. Richard Hugh plays Stanley. Okay. This is his Hallmark premiere. His acting work dates all the way back to 1980.
Wow.
He was in the series The Diplomat. He was in 2 episodes in 2024, which we have to get back to.
Yes.
He was in the series The Bay, 4 episodes in 2019. He was in Succession. 1 episode in 2018. No, it's a series.
Or series, sorry.
He was also in Line of Duty, 4 episodes in 2014. And y'all, if you haven't seen Line of Duty, it is an excellent series.
Yes, it is.
Excellent, excellent. I was hoping that would come back, but it won't. It's a British series, but so good.
The Gaffer.
The Gaffer. Catherine Disher plays Betty. She has been in several Hallmark productions, including all 3 of the Love on the Danube movies. She was in My Sweet Austrian Holiday, which is also known as The Christmas Chocolatier in 2024. Funny. That was really cute. We know and love her from the Good Witch series, where she played Martha Tinsdale in 76 episodes from 2015 to 2021. And she's in all of the Good Witch movies dating back to 2008. We never could figure out how the movies fit in with the series. We didn't watch any of the movies, but I think we watched one, but it was a weird... there was some missing there, but we loved the Good Witch series. Yes. Loved it. She was in Law and Order Toronto, Criminal Intent, for 2 episodes between 2024 and 2025. And she, too, has voiced a lot of animated work. Like X-Men 97, she did 6 episodes of that in 2024. Thomas and Friends, All Engines Go, 11 episodes between 2021 and 2023. Daniel Spellbound, 20 episodes between 2022 and 2023, and Roly Poly Oly, which the kids watched. Do you remember that? Roly Poly Oly. She voiced in 75 episodes of that between 1998 and 2004.
Wow.
And she was in a series called The Border for 38 episodes between 2008 and 2010.
Wow.
Whew.
That was a lot.
There you go. I love her, though.
Yeah, she's a great actress. I really enjoy her stuff.
Yeah, she's good.
And I'm kind of anxious to see how she plays out in this particular
I agree.
series.
In this series, what's going to be her storyline? Does it grow?
She probably owns the boat.
She probably does own the boat. Yeah, we don't know.
It's her floating home.
Yeah, it's her floating. It might be. I'm going to be curious to see. Yeah, that's a good point.
That would be funny if that's what it was.
Yep.
So, what did you think?
What did I think? Should I drop the synopsis first, or should I?
Goodness, I am.
We are maybe all I should out of sorts today.
Take a sip of wine.
Is it Friday? Is it Monday? I don't know what day it is.
Tuesday. It's Monday disguised as Tuesday. Okay, it's time to drop the synopsis.
Okay, here we go. A daughter traveling with her widowed mother, a musical theater performer, and a son traveling with his widowed father, a pianist, meet on a cruise and decide that their musical parents would make the perfect couple. They just need to help them realize it. They spend the rest of the trip trying to engineer a romance, only to discover it might not be their parents who are falling in love.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think?
I love the movie. I love the concept. Definitely love the locations.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the various stops that, the boat took along the way. However, I did feel like it was a little slow.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it flowed like the other movies that we've watched, but that's okay. I also felt like the characters didn't grow a lot in this one.
Right.
I maybe Julia.
We might have to disagree a little bit about that, but
we can disagree.
Well,
but that's how I felt about this particular one.
Well, I think too, we're coming off of watching the Chicken Sisters, where we had monumental growth for all these characters, and this is not the same.
That's fair.
This is not the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me what you thought.
Well, I was it'll be similar to yours in that I enjoyed it. I actually thought it was really cute. I thought the cast had really good chemistry. Mm-hmm. And I actually, loved the location shoot, of course.
Right.
And I did read that it was filmed mainly in Budapest, Hungary. They didn't make all the stops but it was still beautiful, right? The architecture. One of the shoots was literally at one of the baths there when they were in the pool. So
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's called the Gellert. I don't know how to pronounce that. Thermal bath. It was built on historical healing hot springs in 1918.
Wow.
And I read that the camera crew had to get on bathing suits because the angles they wanted, they had to get in the water to shoot, which I thought was pretty cool. And then the church scene that they filmed in, it was the first time that church ever allowed a filming crew inside to film.
Got the first
Church of Our Lady of Buda Castle. It's also known as St. Matthias Church.
It was beautiful inside.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. So the location shoot, I always love that when they do that. I actually thought it flowed smoothly. I just kept thinking like soft and smooth as we were going through it.
Right.
The story, the location shoot, the actors. Did it blow me away? No.
Right.
But it doesn't have to knock my socks off to just be an enjoyable, heartfelt movie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I felt. I mean, I wasn't sad that we watched it,
No, I wasn't either.
I thought it was enjoyable, but it didn't like blow me away like some of our other favorite Hallmark movies. So yeah, we're kind of on the same page there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about favorite scenes? Did you have any?
A few. The location shoot in general.
Yes.
I just loved all the shots.
It was beautiful.
So yeah, so I have to give a shout out to that. I thought the meet cute worked on the steps when she was trying to get reception, right? On the
I have
steps.
that as my first
Okay,
favorite.
so what do you that's one of your favorite scenes?
It's one of my favorite scenes where she's walking up the steps trying to get a signal on her phone.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's talking to herself, and then Jack comes up behind her like he's dancing, and then she turns around and they start to talk, and they introduce themselves to each other. But then as they're saying goodbye, he turns around to her and says, "Talk typos later."
Yeah.
And
so
he was like, why did I say that?
That was just seemed like they did seem so genuine.
Yes.
And I don't know. I thought that. So I'm glad we agree with that. That was just such a cute, cute meet cute, so to speak. Yeah. I enjoyed that. Any other scenes that you liked?
I loved the cake scene that they did.
Scene.
Yeah, where Jack and Sarah went to go taste the cake.
Yes.
And,
where they
and I think his name was Lucas, the character, who was providing the
was it
the
cheesecake or was it was just cake?
I'm not sure. I think some of it might have been cheesecake.
Yeah,
but the way the guy or Lucas was he was really serious about them enjoying the tasting of these cakes.
Yes, it was very serious business.
But then you have Sarah and Jake, trying to make fun of the moment, and they decided, we're getting engaged. And then the guy was like, well, there's no spots for weddings because it takes years to book it, right? And they're like, oh, that would take too long. But there was a courthouse across the street, so they talked about going there. Yeah. But then they said, oh, can we get a to-go box?
In his face.
And his face, like, what?
Yeah.
What? A to-go box?
Yeah, that whole scene really worked. It was cute and fun.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really like the library scene too, just because I love the library. You know, just all the books, the cool architecture. I just thought it looked cool. And then walking through it, and then of course, then they go to the music room, right? That's in the library, or a part of the library.
It's part of the library, right? One of the rooms, yeah.
And they go into the music room, which again I thought was really cool. And I didn't look up to see what library that was. I bet that was a real.
It was.
Oh, did you look it up?
Yes, I didn't write it down. It kind of reminded me of the Library of Congress.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful library too.
Yes.
But because I had that down as one of my favorites.
Did you?
Too.
Yeah. So they go in and he gifts his father. His name is going to be in the book.
And the oldest book, I think, of marching.
Every time she said, I kept thinking Guggenheim, like the Guggenheim.
Yeah, it was interesting though, because when he sat down, and I think Sarah came up with the idea, and so they booked this private viewing of this book.
Oh, which that's right. She did. You're right.
He got his name in, and then they take a picture of Andre and his father, and I liked that scene too. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you have any other?
No. What about you?
The other one that I had listed was when Julia and Betty sing the trolley song.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That was
I thought that was really good. Do you know what
good.
That's from?
No.
That's from the musical.
No.
It's Meet Me in St.
Good.
Louis.
Oh.
Meet
Me in St. Louis. That was a fun scene.
I thought that was a really fun scene. Yeah. I just liked it. I liked that they got to sing, and I thought that was cute.
I forgot about that scene.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Any more?
No, that's it for favorite scenes for me.
So shall we move on to cheers?
Cheers. Biggest cheer from you? Or a cheer, if you have several.
No, my biggest cheer was that they actually shot it on location.
Yep, I have that too. Yeah. Yep.
And like you said, mostly in Budapest and Hungary.
Yeah, and Budapest, Hungary is...
Right.
Yep.
And
the city. And
I didn't know, but along the way, there's a lot of houses that are along the bank.
Of the Danube?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because the Danube, I think is, what did they say? It's like...
I don't know.
Like 1,700 miles.
Did they talk about it
long.
in the movie?
No, they didn't. I looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,770 miles long.
And we've never been on a cruise, but that type of cruise boat.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I guess you wouldn't have the big cruise ships on the Danube. I don't really know. I mean, don't quote me on that. I don't really know. It's a river.
and you can't get under those bridges with a big old cruise ship.
That's true. But I thought that was really just cool.
Yeah.
The way it was. I would do that. I would totally go over there
and
do
they
that.
do have cruises, and I looked that up.
Oh, okay. Are we going? Did you book one?
They have short cruises, which is 2 to 5 days.
Oh.
They have standard cruises, which is 7 to 8 days. Extended cruises, which is 10 to 14 days. And then the grand cruises, which is 15 to 22 plus days.
Is this a 22 plus days?
So maybe that's what the one, what's her name? I forgot her name. Betty.
The character Betty.
Maybe that's what she booked is the long one.
Maybe.
That'd be interesting
to see.
And they have different places where you can get on and off for each of those cruises. So
is that a particular cruise line, or you're just saying in general
it
on
is,
the Danube?
But I think it's on the Danube anyways. It's
I hope it is, because you're
But the one that they shot on, the boat that they shot on, was actually one of the real ones.
And
they had their pamphlets
that's cool.
on there that you could see
and
if
that's
you were paying attention.
Their
it's legit,
actual.
yes.
Oh, that's so cool! Look at you with the trivia. That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought I'd drop that in there for
you. Look at you.
So, did you have any cheers?
Well, you said the location shoot. I had a few. I loved that they didn't have Julia regret her choice to step down from her career, not step down, but step away from her career when she became a parent. And, I mean, so many times the movies it's like the old trope, like, oh gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I should have stayed. But she was like, I didn't regret it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be sad about something and you can miss it and not regret it.
Right.
Right. So I kind of enjoyed that storyline part of it. I actually thought the chemistry worked really well between everybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't like explosive, but I just thought it flowed lovely. I thought that it was just a lovely flow throughout the whole movie.
I can see that.
Yeah, those were, do you have any other cheers?
No, I don't have any other.
You don't have any other one?
No.
Nothing else did the winery stop?
Well, that winery was pretty cool because they said the cellar goes on for miles.
Yes, can you imagine? That would be so cool to see. So cool. I'm just giving a shout out to the winery stop. I mean, it's got to be a cheer.
Well, we have to.
I love, which I've already mentioned, Catherine Disher. I just love her. I just love her quirkiness and the way she plays the characters and how she kind of, talked to everyone and
kind of cheered them up,
brought them around. It was cool. And the fact that she knew everything about them, she was like, oh my gosh, I know all your music, and
was
like
funny.
And I have a favorite play of yours to Stanley, so she kind of, just like I just thought I loved her character, so I'm okay. So I'm looking forward to seeing her in the other two movies,
right? And
like you said earlier, to see where she goes, her character goes, and what she does. I kind of am digging the openings, the cartoony with the music. I thought that was really cool.
It kind of reminded me of the Royals. The Royal series.
That's exactly what I had down. Yeah, the Royal weekends that we had. Yeah, Royalish and the Royal We. And where they had that cute little opening. So we should watch this one again and then see if it differs from the next one, which I'm sure it probably will. Maybe it's the different stops or whatever. But I kind of like that. I think it's cute and, a little quirky. And then the song / music at the end just reminded me of the 80s music.
Yes.
It was very, I know it wasn't from the 80s, but it was reminiscent of that. So I love that.
Well, cool.
Yeah. So there you go.
So that was all your cheers, huh?
That was it. Those were my cheers.
So we're going to move on to jeers.
All right. Let's move on to jeers and see what you got. You got?
One
Do you have a whole list?
Well, I have a couple.
Okay.
I have like 3.
Okay.
Julia, I understand, the fear of getting back up on stage, but I felt like there were too many scenes where she kept saying, I don't want to go on there. I don't want to go up on stage. I don't want to be the lead. I just want to be in the chorus. It just felt like, I think there was like 3 or 4 scenes where she said that. Mm-hmm. And then she leaves the note on her bed for Sarah that, where she went and just kind of sat on a bench, contemplate, her life or whatever. And then she tells her about how she doesn't want to do it. But then Sarah kind of talks her into it. Mm-hmm. So that was one of my jeers. I loved her as a character.
Yeah.
I just felt that part of it just, to me,
didn't work. Did you feel like it was too much?
It was too much.
It was too much for you, her saying no.
I mean, for somebody that was on stage for a while, I wouldn't think the nerves would be that much, as much as they portrayed in this.
Well, if you haven't done it in 35 years. Or
and then I think another reason
was
was because her husband's passing, who was always there for her plays, musicals.
Right.
Maybe that has something to do with it too.
Maybe.
But that was one of them. What about you?
Okay. It looked like Jack and Andre could have been brothers. And not father and son, I swear. I mean,
I know.
And, and that's a compliment towards Andre if he is, in fact, old enough to be Jack's father. But I just felt like the age difference, in certain angle just wasn't enough for me.
Are there just not enough older
I don't know. I don't know, but they just seem closer in age than what I think they were trying to put off. And again, maybe that's just a testament to Andre, or the actor, who plays Andre.
True.
And by the way, when I say, did you ever watch Project Runway with Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn?
Yeah, the original. Got me hooked on it.
We watched it a little bit, but there was one of the first few seasons, there was one of the contestants, his name was Andre.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were watching this, Tim Gunn used to say, Andre. And he used to say it in such a way, and it became like a thing during that season. He'd go, Andre, where are you? Oh, Andre, just the way he said. So in my head, the whole time we were watching this movie, that's what I kept thinking of. So shout out to Project Runway for that.
That is funny.
What other jeers did you have?
The scene with Jack and Sarah taking a carriage ride. Oh my God, that hurt my head.
Because it was bouncy. Yeah, it was. I don't
know if that was a green screen or if it was real because the aperture on the camera. I don't know, but I had to look away. It was
hard to tell
because they kept bouncing, but I don't think their voices sounded like they were bouncing.
They were like bouncing up and down. Oh, that's
and
true.
It just
I didn't think about that when we were
crazy. I just didn't like that.
Yeah, you didn't. It was too like jerky almost and up and down.
It was hurting my eyes.
I mean, I guess the fact that we couldn't tell if it was a green screen is not a bad thing because that means it was decent. But it was like some parts of it, I thought maybe it was not a green screen and it was legit. And then other parts, if they had to reshoot or whatever.
And the car that was behind them, it was like if the carriage would have had a sudden stop, that car would have ran up on them.
I didn't even know. Was it right close? I didn't even notice
so.
I was paying attention to the dialogue. Thank you very much.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
So what about you? What's your jeer?
Sarah's boss. Can we just make bosses be a boss?
I know,
and not,
be a boss,
it was like a weird, like we almost didn't even need that.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't need that character, I didn't think. And I just didn't, I don't know, the whole over, you're fired if you don't get this in right. I mean, they have these,
our bosses really like
I just wish they would get away from that. You could have a boss who's, hard on you and whatnot, but it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of worn out from that, but I just didn't think it worked. I didn't like when Sarah acted surprised that Jack was into her when they were at their dinner.
I know.
She's like, what? Yeah. Jack, but she was flirting with, they were kind of like building it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I just
she
felt like in that
his
part,
arm
it didn't.
During that one scene, like for the whole scene. I'm like, but y'all just met.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that was another one. Do you have any more?
Was that the scene where he kind of, laid it out for her? Like he was in love with her and all that?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of John Cusack, Say Anything. I gave her my heart. She gave me a pen.
Yeah.
That was funny. But no, I didn't have any more.
No, that was it. The only other one that I had for a jeer was the hats.
Yes.
When Jack and Andre wear the hats. I didn't view it so much as Frank Sinatra. Did you think of Frank Sinatra when you saw those hats on them?
No.
I just didn't. And we love Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
Now, I don't know all of his stuff. I mean, I know he wore, what do they call them? Fedoras or whatever. Fedoras. So, but I just didn't feel like it. He's like, oh, you look just like Frank Sinatra. And I'm like, yeah, no, not really.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
No. So. I did have one more jeer. It was the captain. And
captain.
It was kind of like a voiceover a couple of times throughout the movie where he was saying, we're now stopping at whatever port. And why wouldn't you just show him? He's there. I would rather them show him on the microphone saying, okay, our next stop is blah, 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 blah. But it just kind of sounded like they were coming off the boat and there's this voice Like God is speaking to you.
Well, it's so interesting that you say that because I kind of liked it.
Oh, did you?
The voiceover in that part of it. Yeah. Where he was next stop, Vienna or whatever they would say. And then he would talk about some of the things.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We have a different opinion about that.
Yes.
But yes, I understand your point.
Well, I'm glad
but I don't agree with it.
Because I'm not changing it.
I didn't like the voiceover at the very beginning when you hear Sarah and Julia talking in like the cab they're pulling up to get on the cruise.
Right.
And it's like a weird, like just show them.
That's
it's kind of like
saying.
What you were just saying about
him.
the captain. But I felt like that kind of worked. But with them, I just felt like, why are we don't even know who they are. I don't know. I just thought that was.
It was weird.
A little bit weird. Yeah.
But that's it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
That's all I got to say about that. No, that's it for me.
Out of 5 corks then, how many would you give it?
Oh, I'd probably give it a solid 3.5.
Yeah. That's what I was
What would you give it? 3.5? Really?
Yes.
We're the same.
Yes.
I almost went a 4.
Me too.
But that's bordering on what I really like. And I know we've been freely giving away 5s and stuff that we just really like because we're just, into the stuff that
and it
is
wasn't
just
bad
lighter
acting.
and,
It was not bad acting.
No,
it
wasn't like
the chemistry.
It wasn't
was
like
just,
Love is in the Air.
Just some of the clips.
Do you know? Or Love in the Clouds. What was it? Love in the Clouds.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know. It was supposed to be called Love in the Air, but
whatever.
It wasn't like that at all. It was. I enjoyed it,
Yes.
but it just wasn't. It wasn't like a big wow.
Right.
So,
Right.
but it was a nice movie night for us. Don't you
I
think?
enjoyed it.
A nice Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Well, thanks for listening. Be sure to follow the podcast wherever you listen so you don't miss one. Also, follow us on social media. We'd love to have you leave us a review on Apple Podcast and or Spotify. Hopefully, it's a positive one.
And we'd really appreciate it. We'd not only love it, but we'd really appreciate it. Right?
We'd love to talk to you.
We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to hear what you think.
Or type to you.
Or type to you.
Chat to you. Whatever you want to call it.
Be sure to join us next Wednesday for our review of the second Love on the Danube movie's Royal Getaway. It airs Saturday night, May 24th, 2025 on the Hallmark Channel and streams the next day on Hallmark Plus.
Yay!
You can also now join us on Tinsel Tuesdays.
Yes, folks.
We're starting Tinsel Tuesdays for our Hallmark reviews of all things Christmas.
Woo-hoo.
And we're going to start with...
Bum, bum, bum. Mistletoe
Murders. Yeah, we're going to start reviewing each episode because we have not watched that yet.
Yeah.
And we wanted to, and they do have a season 2. Mm-hmm. So we need to watch it and catch up before season 2 premieres.
Yeah.
Until then, fill up your glasses and push play. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.